Hi everyone, and welcome into today's episode of Awaken Radio. It's so nice to be back here with you again on the podcast, and I'm coming to you in a very inspired and lit up energy today. I hosted day one of the Manifestation Masterclass series this morning, which is the free 3-day training that I have running this week. And I absolutely love hosting free trainings. I love connecting with my community in these sessions. I love getting to connect with new women who are new to my work, and I just love the chance to share my messages and to talk about the things that I'm so passionate about. And there was something that I talked about in the training today, which I've just really been reflecting on and thinking about since this morning. And I realized that I wanted to talk about it further with you. So I'm going to bring you a little conversation on this on the podcast today. And so if you haven't registered for the Manifestation Masterclass series that I'm currently hosting, we still have 2 days left at the time that I'm recording this. Or even if you're listening to this after the training has run, you can still go and register and watch the replays. It's such a powerful training, really giving you the foundations of everything you need to know to create and manifest what you truly desire in your life. And I'm also excited to share that I've just opened up enrollments to Creatress, which is my 4-month feminine manifestation program. And I've made this program longer than it was last time I ran it. It was previously 7 weeks. But I've realized, we need time and space to really work on the creation of what we want. And I want to coach and mentor you through the process. So this round will take you right up until the end of 2023. And this program really walks you step by step through the process of manifesting and creating what you want in a way that's deeply feminine, embodied, nourishing, and supportive to your nervous system. So you're going to receive 8 modules of powerful content that's released to you every 2 weeks. I'm adding in a whole new module this round around subconscious reprogramming because I really want to support you to be able to move through what comes up on your journey of manifesting and creating what you want, right? What gets in the way. So I've got a new module on that, and the modules include masterclasses, embodiment practices, meditations, journaling prompts, rituals, channeled audios that I'm bringing through. So you're getting all the comprehensive coursework, practices, tools, processes that you need to create what you want. You can use this over and over again when you want to manifest different desires. And then there's live coaching calls. There's 8 live coaching and support calls. So as you're going through the program and different things are coming up, you can be getting support. You can be coming getting coaching with me. You can come on calls and talk with me, and I can help you tweak things and help you see what you need to work on and help you clear what's in the way. So I really want to hold and support you for 4 months through the journey of really birthing your beautiful desires into the world. So enrollments are open for Creatress at the moment. We start on Monday, the 14th of August. If you want to learn more, go to conniechapman.com/creatress. And I would absolutely love to get to support you through this journey. I'm so excited to lead another round of that program. And so as I was saying, I'm really in the energy at the moment of creation, of manifesting, of really feeling into, the desires I hold, what I want to create, and really what it's going to look like to create these and bring these to life. And, that's what we've been talking about in the training this week. And that's really what I teach in Creatress. But really what's on my heart and what I want to speak to in this podcast with you is I want to speak to this moment that really changed my life. And I want to tell you a story. And it was a story I told on the training today, on the first day of our masterclass, manifestation masterclass training. And it's a story that I realized I haven't really told before. But as I was preparing for the training last night, it really came back into the forefront of my mind. And it made me realize what the most important thing is when it comes to creating what we want. And that's what this conversation's really about, right? And I haven't written notes for this episode. I haven't scripted anything. I just really want to speak from my heart with you. So the story that I told in the training today that I want to tell you was about 12 years ago it happened. So 12 years ago, I was at a real crossroads in my life and I hired a life coach. I found this beautiful woman to work with one-on-one, and I signed on to work for 3 months with her. And honestly, everything about working with this life coach was so incredibly life-changing for me. It was what made me fall in love with coaching. It's what made me fall in love with the industry, with wanting to help people and work with people, was how deeply impacted I was by the time that I spent with this coach and how much she supported me and believed in me and helped me create change. And at that stage of my life, 12 years ago, when I found this woman, I was at a real crossroads in my life and in my career. And at that stage, I'd been immersed probably for about 9 years in personal development work, in my own healing journey, my own spiritual journey, my own journey of learning about the law of attraction and learning how to create things that I wanted, and reading all the books and doing yoga and journaling and watching YouTube videos and all those things. I was working on myself. I was learning, I was growing, that journey that you go on. And at this point when I hired this life coach, I really needed support because I had dreams and desires in my heart and I did not know how to bring them to life. I had dreams and desires of things for the life that I wanted to live, for the results I wanted to create, for what the business I wanted to build, for the version of myself that I wanted to be. I would hold these dreams in my heart. I would think about them all the time. I would journal about them, and they had been in my heart for like 9 years. I'd really been feeling into what I wanted in a relationship, what I desired for the type of business and work I wanted to do in the world. For this version of myself that I dreamed to become, who was confident and embodied and empowered and fully self-expressed, and who went after her dreams, who wasn't hiding all the time and playing small and shrinking and knowing in her heart that she was living a life that was so much less than what she was destined for. I wanted to be that version of myself that was really showing up. I wanted to be a version of myself I was proud of, where I knew I was living as the highest expression of myself. I was fulfilling my potential and my purpose, and I was really being courageous and bold in how I was living. And so when I found this life coach, I was holding all of these desires in my heart, but I didn't believe in any of them. I didn't know how to create them. I didn't have any role models of anyone in my life who was creating anything like what I had wanted to create. Instagram wasn't around. I watched some YouTube videos to kind of connect with people who inspired me, but that was really all I had. And I had no one around me who was living the life that I wanted to live. I had no one that was really a role model of what I had wanted to create, and no one who was really an example of what was possible. And so I would hold these dreams and desires inside of me, but I was sort of paralyzed in how to create them or how to manifest them. I didn't know how, and there was so much inside of me that I'd bump up against. So many fears, so many doubts, so much hesitation and procrastination, so much avoidance, so much shrinking, so much negative self-talk that constantly came up for me when I would think about, particularly when I thought about the type of business that I wanted to run. I had no business experience. I didn't know how to run a business. I just knew I was really passionate about teaching and sharing messages and helping people. And I just knew that's what I wanted to do. And so I started with this life coach in the hope that maybe she would be able to support me. I wanted to bring on someone who would support me with what I wanted. And in my very first session with her, she asked me a question that I don't think anyone up until that point had asked me. And it's one of the most powerful questions that you can ask. And she said, Connie, what do you truly want? What do you truly want? What do you want in your heart? And I remember feeling a little bit like frozen and paralyzed, like almost like, oh, there's so much. How do I share this with her? And what if she judges me? And what if she thinks, who's this girl to be able to be a life coach? And who does this girl think she is for wanting so much, for dreaming of so much, right? So she said, what do you really want? And I really sat with it in my heart and I said, I want to be a coach. I want to teach. I want to help people. I want to share my messages. I want to build a business. I want to be a speaker. I want to write books. And I shared everything with her that was on my heart. And like I said, I don't think anyone had that directly ever really asked me to listen to my heart and speak what was on my heart. And she heard me, and she held space, and she listened, and she said, great, let's make it happen. And she was the first person I think I'd ever encountered who really believed in me, who actually believed that everything I just said to her was possible, that I could actually create that. And I think she was the first person that actually believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. So often I felt like I was trying to convince people and prove to them what I wanted, and it was really hard to do because I wasn't even convinced about it. But she believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. She put her full faith in what my heart was saying that it wanted. And she said, okay, let's create this. And within that 3 months of working with her, I had set up a blog. So at that time, blogging was a bit of a thing. Started blogging, I started writing, I started sharing my thoughts and my feelings and my ideas. And I had been writing behind the scenes for years, but I'd never shared my writing. I was way too scared. I was terrified. But through her support, through her coaching, I began to share my writing. I pressed publish on the blog and I shared it. I signed up to life coach training. I committed to my desire to go and train as a life coach, to actually start to do this despite being terrified and filled with doubt and unsure how I would do it. And I also began the process of transitioning in my day job. I resigned from one job that I was in and moved into a new role. She actually really helped me through the process of refining and clarifying, like, what would I want in a job and what do I need to look for, so that this job would actually support me to build my business. It would give me more time, more space, more energy to be able to build my business. And I was able to make these massive leaps forward in a matter of months through working with this woman. And when you look back on something like that, when I think back on that, I think, well, what was it? What was it that really allowed for so much to happen? Because I always had the capacity for it. All of the steps that I took, I could have taken at any time. But really, what allowed me to start to absolutely change my life was fully claiming and owning what I wanted. It was that moment that I fully claimed it. I fully stepped in. I fully owned what my heart had been telling me for so long that it wanted. And I got devoted. I got committed. Yeah. I brought in the support that I needed and I said, we're doing this. And it was that moment of having someone ask me that question, what do you truly want? And then answering it with so much courage and so much honesty. And I look back on that moment as being honestly one of the biggest turning points of my life. Because if I hadn't worked with that woman, if I hadn't had the courage to go find this life coach, and if she hadn't asked me that question, I never would have started my blog. I would have kept staying in fear and procrastinating. I never would have signed up for life coach training. I would have been stuck in all of the reasons why it wasn't possible for me. Yeah, I wouldn't have built this career that I've built now for the past 11 years in this space, doing the work that I love. and we wouldn't be having this conversation today. I wouldn't be on the podcast talking to you. Can you see how that one moment of claiming and owning what I wanted, of deeply listening to my heart, of fully stepping in and saying, I am going to devote to what I desire, it changed everything. That was the moment that changed everything. So when it comes to creating what you want, this is the most important step, because how can we create anything until we've really owned what we desire? And I don't just mean the desires of what you've learnt you should be doing in the world and what gets you praise in the world and what everyone else is doing and what you think is the right thing to do. And I don't mean those desires that are the toned down, safe, watered down version of what you want. I mean what you really want. What you really, truly want in your heart if there was no limitations. What do you truly want? Yeah. And that is the first step. And that is the most important step to being able to create what we want. Until we can own and claim that, none of the other steps in the creation or the manifestation process even matter. And so when we really claim what we want, this doesn't just mean like owning it and voicing it and deciding we're going to create it and fully committing to it, right? Like going 2 feet in on it. It also means doing what, being willing to do what we need to do to bring it to life. Doing what it takes to create it. And when I say, are you willing to do what it takes to create what you want? I'm not meaning like, are you willing to work really hard and push yourself and work 24 hours a day and hustle? We think about that question as like, are you willing to do what it takes? It's like this idea of having to do more and effort and try harder. And it almost implies like you're not trying hard enough. And that's not what I'm meaning by asking that question. Are you willing to do what it takes to have what you want? What I really mean is, are you willing to do the inner work? Are you willing to look within at everything that's currently unfolding within you that is preventing you creating what you want? Are you willing to go in and work through those fears, that self-doubt, those old belief systems about yourself, the feelings of unworthiness, the stories of like, who am I to create this? Are you willing to go in and look at what's currently unfolding on the level of your mindset, your thoughts and your beliefs, your energy, your actions, like how you show up, your self-talk, how you talk to yourself about what you want? And are you willing to get so devoted to moving through and working through whatever is going to come up in you as you step into the process of creating what you want? Because that's the 2 parts to it, right? We've got to devote to what I want. And then we've got to say, and I'm willing to keep stepping in to the process of creating it, even when it's uncomfortable. And that's the biggest thing that stops you creating what you want, is the fact that you're not willing to get uncomfortable. Because these desires that you receive, these really true heart-driven desires, they're not going to be comfortable. They're going to be new. They're going to be unfamiliar. They're going to stretch you. They're going to ask you to become a new version of yourself. They're going to ask you to upgrade the way you think and feel and act. They're going to ask you to examine your belief systems, to get in charge of the energy that you embody, to shift who you're being on a being-based level, on an identity level. They're going to ask you to make inner changes. Every desire that is moving through you that's ready to be made manifest is going to ask you to change on an inner level in order to create it. We have to be willing to do the inner work that's required. And so many of us think, if I'm going to make this happen, so much hard work and so much effort and so much time. And I really don't think that's necessarily the case. I think most of the work is really about looking within and being willing to get really honest, like what's going on inside of me that is preventing me creating what I truly want? And do I have the courage and the devotion and the willingness to go within and work on that? Like when I started to step out to create that desire that I had claimed, do you have any idea how much stuff would come up inside of me? How much self-doubt and insecurity and worrying what people thought about me, fearing other people's judgment, being afraid a lot of the time, feeling anxious, feeling worried, not knowing how I was going to financially provide for myself. Just constantly questioning, am I good enough for this? Do I have what it takes? And all of those things that came up were invitations for me to go deeper within myself and look at these pieces and actually work on them. Like manifesting your desires is an inner work journey. We think of manifestation and creation as so much of like an action doing journey. So much of it is the inner work. It is the willingness to look at what is going on inside of you that is out of alignment with what you want, that's preventing you creating what you want, that's blocking what you want, that's keeping you small and stuck. And it's the courage to go in and do the work on that, and to face that and feel that and alchemize that and process that. Yeah. And this is really the key. This is the key to creating what you want. If you are willing to continue claiming what you want and devoting to it and showing up every day with the devotion to the creation of it, even when you can't see how, even when it feels uncomfortable. Yeah. And you're then willing as well to go within and look within yourself when you bump up against something, an old belief system, a fear, self-doubt, unworthiness, discomfort, an inner story, a subconscious belief, whatever it is that comes up, just like feeling outside your comfort zone, resistance, avoidance, wanting to give up, wanting to procrastinate, whatever it is. If you're willing to go within and meet that when that comes up and move through that and work through that, then there's no limit to what you can create. There's a lot of different things I teach out there. That I teach, in my programs, and that I put out in my podcasts and in all my content. And these are all things that you can bring into your manifestation and creation process that will make the process more easeful, more embodied, more nourishing, more flowing, that will help accelerate the process. And all of these things are really important. I teach them for a reason. But if we just get down to the bare bones, the bare bones of what it means to create what you want, it is owning and claiming what you want, and then being willing to do what it takes to create it. Even if that means facing uncomfortable things, taking uncomfortable action, doing the inner work, hiring a coach, working on your childhood trauma, regulating your nervous system, learning how to become magnetic, whatever the work is that we're being invited into. It's our willingness to do that allows us to create what we want. And so this was just really on my heart today. After I taught this in the training today, I was just really sitting with it, and I was just like, it's been these moments in my life where I've had this courage and this willingness to step in, that change has happened, and that I've been able to create something new in my life, and I've been able to really expand my life and take it to its next level and bring to life something so deep that I was holding in my heart. And so I just want to ask you, what is it that you really want? And are you devoted? Are you stepping in? Are you willing to do what it takes to bring it to life? Even if it means getting uncomfortable, even if it means doing the inner work, even if it means changing your mindset and your belief systems, even if it means learning how to step into a new state of embodiment, feeling new emotions, showing up in new ways. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to change on an inner level to create something new on an outer level? It's really what it boils down to. Are you willing to change on an inner level in order to create something different on an outer level? That is the invitation of every single desire. And for me personally, it's every time I have the courage to go in, claim that desire, and then do the inner work around it, that everything in my life shifts. And I just really wanted to tell you that story because I hadn't talked about it on the podcast before, and it was such a life-changing moment for me. So I just hope that's come through. Like I said, it's come through a little raw. I didn't script this. I didn't plan this. But I hope it's just really landed. I hope you feel it. I hope you feel the energy of what I'm wanting to communicate. I hope it speaks to you. I hope it sparks something in you. I hope it moves something in you. And if you are really ready to devote to your desires, my love, to get the support that you need to bring them to life, to really do the inner work. That's what we do in Creatress. We do the inner work. I give you everything you need to create the change on the inner level that allows you to create change on the outer level. There are programs out there that will teach you to take action and apply strategies and work with techniques. We add in some of that into Creatress because that's important, but that's not what the real work is. I work with you on an inner level, an energetic level, an embodiment level, a mindset level, a subconscious level, a nervous system level, an energetic level, to create the shifts inside of you that will allow you to step forward into what it is you want to create and really start to become magnetic to what you want. Yeah. Really get into alignment with these desires that are in your heart. So enrollments are open. They are open until Sunday, the 13th of August. This is going to be such a powerful round. This is my first time running it as a 4-month program. I want to really hold you through the process of manifesting your desires. And I want to teach you everything I know that I've been practicing for the past 15 years of working with manifestation principles. I really want to teach you everything I know to support you to bring your beautiful dreams to life. So if you want to learn more about Creatress, go to conniechapman.com/creatress to secure your spot. And if you've loved this episode, thank you so much for being tuned in. And you can share this with a friend. You can share this to your Instagram stories and tag me. And make sure you're subscribed to Awaken Radio so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for being here for this conversation. And I look forward to talking to you again next time.